In today's video, we'll be listening to the MoistCritical ASMR for about 2 hours because I'm sleeping. Who doesn't love MoistCritical? So grab yourself a pillow and grab yourself a blanket. Let's get this show on the road. And if we pause out this video, I'm gonna walk around in Walmart with peanut butter filled in my shoes. Let's get it. Play video.
Today, Will Smith posted a YouTube apology video for slapping Chris Rock at the Oscars.
Oh shit.
And when I saw it, I had to scratch my head and wonder why. It happened so long ago. I was confused. Why is he apologizing now? I felt like Robin Williams coming out of Jumanji asking what year it was. And then I remembered that happened this year. It was 4 months ago that Will Smith slapped Chris Rock's head clean off his shoulders at the Oscars. He turned an award ceremony into a public execution when he blasted Chris Rock to Valhalla, just banishing him to the Shadow Realm with a slap.
Mm-hmm.
Oh baby, that's right. He starts this with the most generic YouTuber apology intro imaginable. A slow walk into a big sigh right before getting into the actual apology. Textbook. He's clearly been trained by some of the YouTuber apology greats like Logan Paul, Laura Lee, Tati. I mean, this is perfection here. Every box of YouTuber apology cliche gets ticked immediately except for one. He didn't bring his dog into it. A lot of YouTubers like to bring in an animal in order to, deflect some of the criticism with cuteness with the animal. Will Smith, unfortunately, must have forgot that prop this time around, but everything else he nails.
Why didn't you apologize to Chris in your acceptance speech?
Sounds like a robot.
I was fogged out by that point. It's all fuzzy.
So the main thing he's doing in the apology video here is answering questions that people have asked over the last 4 months. And again, I have to wonder why even bother. It's been 4 months on internet time. That's basically ancient history. Like, that's back there with like Y2K now. Most people have moved on and forgotten about it. So it's a little weird to be this tardy to the party with addressing these things. Now, of course, I understand this was like a career-ruining moment for him, so he wants to do his best to be perceived positively again, both by movie execs as well as the general public. So if he really did feel strongly enough that he wants to apologize, then all power to him. But anyway, the first question that he addresses here is one that I don't think anyone with half a brain ever asked in the first place. Why didn't you apologize to Chris during your acceptance speech? The answer should be pretty obvious if you have eyes. It's because he was still mad. He was still fuming. Of course he wasn't going to apologize for it. Literally 15 minutes before he accepted that award, he had just charged the stage like The Undertaker during WrestleMania going into the ring and clobbered Chris. So of course he's not going to immediately like fold and be like, man, sorry Chris, that was out of line. He was still upset. That's why he didn't apologize. I don't really understand his excuse of I was still, in a fog. It was all still fuzzy. Like, in the moment, that makes sense, but over the last 4 months, what, you've just been in a perpetual fog? You've been in, like, the upside down or something? Like, what do you mean? You've had 4 months if you wanted to publicly apologize to Chris, and you didn't. And even, to be fair, here, you still don't. He says I'm sorry to a lot of people, but the one person he doesn't say the words I'm sorry to is Chris.
I've reached out to Chris, and the message that came back is that he's not ready to talk, and when he is, he will reach out. So I will say to you, Chris, I apologize.
What are we watching?
My behavior was unacceptable, and I'm here whenever you're ready to talk.
This hurts to watch.
That almost sounds like a trap, like, hey, I'm here whenever you're ready to talk. And it turns out Will's been training for the last 4 months with slap boxing, so he's been like slapping brick walls until they collapse, so he's ready to really get him with like a double whammy, get him with that encore performance. There's a big difference between saying, I apologize to you, and I'm sorry. I don't think people really understand the value of just saying, I'm sorry. I think it's the most important thing to say during an apology, which he does say later on to other people, but never Chris. To Chris, he just says, I apologize, and the action was unacceptable. which is, you know, that's good, that's definitely a start, but I really think you needed that cherry on top here of an I'm sorry. This is also just one of those things that should have been handled privately. I'm sure there were plenty of ways in the pipeline to let Chris know that you were genuinely remorseful for what happened, but I understand why he thought this was a good idea. I'm gonna make a video coming forward, publicly apologizing and owning up to my mistakes, letting people see how horrible I feel and what I'm doing to change and be better. The thought process makes sense. You know, let people see a vulnerable side of you and let them know that you made a mistake and you know that. And that, it again, does make sense to anyone who's never been on the internet. I think one thing most people online are starting to understand and wake up to is that when you make an apology video, you lose. It's like what war games taught us. The only winning move is not to play. When you make an apology video, it is a lose-lose situation for you. You're either going to have people that don't believe that you're actually sorry, or they're going to have people that think that you didn't need to apologize in the first place, so now you look stupid. You look like a... which I'm already seeing with Will Smith's apology. Like, why is he apologizing? He stood up for his wife. Does he not support his wife anymore? Oh my god, I've lost all respect for Will with this apology now. And then on the other side of that coin is, man, Will really needed to apologize, but this apology video was so dodgy, he missed the mark entirely. This is the worst apology video I've ever seen in my life. You just don't win with an apology, so again, this should have just been private.
3 months replaying and understanding the nuances and the complexities of what happened in that moment.
You slap the shit out of a man. It's not that deep. Talking about it like it's the most complex situation of all time, like this slap was somehow, you know, like a Cold War or something here. It was a simple act that affected a decent chunk of people. Chris, most notably, I would say, was physically affected by the slap, but Will's career was also hurt by it. Chris's family was probably pretty upset by it. Like, yes, of course, people were affected by it, but it's not like there needs to be like 4 months spent of just digesting this giant web that all spawned from a slap. Because, again, at the end of the day, it's really not that deep.
After Jada rolled her eyes, did she tell you to do something? No.
Sounds like a robot.
It's like, you know, I made a choice on my own, from my own experiences, from my history with Chris. Jada had nothing to do with it.
Jada was behind the camera with a teleprompter and a gun, making sure this question was addressed properly. Of course, I'm kidding. You know, Jada just has very odd moments publicly with Will that I think are very tasteless in the things she says to and about Will. And it's the reason why a lot of people felt like she may have contributed to this overreaction from Will. You know, her rolling her eyes and then just having all of that context with the things she has said publicly about and to Will just made people wonder whether or not she was somehow involved in that decision from Will. But he's clearing the air here, saying that it was just him doing it, and you know what, I'll take his word for it. I think this was just an impulsive decision here. I don't think Jada has some kind of device that she can control Will's brain like something out of Dexter's lab. I really think he just completely overreacted and went berserk here for some reason. And I don't think Jada is necessarily guilty of that, but I do think she is guilty of being a very toxic partner. I know that sounds parasocial to say, but the amount of clips and videos of Jada just shitting on Will to his face is baffling. Like the time where she was just talking about cheating right to him and how much she like enjoyed it or whatever during their red table talk. Oh my god, it's so hard to sit through. As Will's like in tears about it and she's just joking. Oh man, it's brutal. And so now Will looks like a cuck. I mean, I'm just not a big Jada fan. I'll say it. I don't think she's that nice.
What would you say to the people who looked up to you before the slap, or people who expressed that you let them down?
Let me just stop you right there. You don't have to apologize to me. I found this whole thing to be highly entertaining. I thought this was extremely goofy, and no one seriously got injured or anything like that. This was just an absolute wild moment. And honestly, for this section, he should have just said, "You're welcome." You know, to the journalist that wouldn't stop writing about it, like a million articles all going deep into it for no reason, talking about how this is setting a bad precedent and how in the next Oscars, all of a sudden people might be showing up there with battle axes to attack their critics, how journalists are no longer safe, you know, this and that. Like, he honestly should have just said, "You're welcome," for the 2 weeks of just articles and videos about it. Now, of course, there were super fans of Will that were disappointed to see this, and I think it's cute that he said that he was sorry for it and letting them down. He apologized to Chris's family, his family, for the negative backlash they faced. He apologized to pretty much everyone that was directly impacted by it. And now in this section, he's talking about how horrible he feels when he doesn't live up to people's image of him. And I will say he does seem pretty sincere for the most part. But again, it's been 4 months. Most people have moved on. This was pretty unnecessary. Though I'm sure a lot of people that did feel like really disappointed appreciate the gesture.
Disappointing people is my central trauma. I hate when I let people down. It hurts me psychologically and emotionally to know I didn't live up to people's image and impression of me. Deeply remorseful. And I'm trying to be remorseful without being ashamed of myself, right? I'm human. And I made a mistake.
But yeah, he finishes it off by saying that he is remorseful and he's, you know, working on being better, and if you stick with him, you can all be friends again, and that's basically where it concludes. Overall, I don't think it's like the worst apology ever, especially in the tier list of YouTuber apologies. I think this one was one of the more sincere ones, at least from everything I've seen from it, unless I've been deceived by his great acting, I couldn't tell you. But this is just one of those situations that is so wild to me. Why do this 4 months later? If he had done this like a day, 2 days, even a week after this happened, I think the reception to it would have been much better than it currently is. Yes, it still has, I think, a pretty positive reception overall from like his actual like dedicated fans. But the general consensus I'm seeing here is, why is he doing this? This seems very fake to do it now. It's way too late. We've all moved on, this and that. So again, you don't really win with an apology video, but if he'd at least made like a statement like this, a big statement like this, right after it happened, I think he would have been in a much better position now than he is currently, if that makes sense. But anyway, I just wanted to talk about this since the slap is the gift that just keeps on giving. Somehow, there is still developments with that whole story that keep happening. Anyway, that's about it. See ya. Hello there. Today we'll be taking an educational look at the species known as douche tubers. The douche tubers phylum consists of members that possess no soul, no morals, and no creativity, and
I don't
definitely
expect
no
anybody to be watching a video at
In
this
this
point.
phylum, you'll find members such as the Rice Gum and the Paul brothers. Douche tubers are composed of mainly 5 characteristics. 1. They are all douchebags on YouTube who got popular by being douchebags on YouTube for children. 2. Bragging. Always bragging, or flexing. Flexing, for those of you who aren't 12, is when the money is thrown in the face of the viewer. Look how much money I have that you don't. I just the hooker that cost $5,000 because girls usually won't look at me without money in my hand, so I paid for it. You don't have this kind of money, I have this kind of money. So it's just bragging about your money to the children that watch you, which is kind of just in the hand that feeds you. But kids like it. 3. Just being a big douchebag. 4. You're still a big douchebag. 5. Always threatening to fight your haters or roasting them. Optionally diss tracks if you want to be an extreme turbo super douchebag YouTuber. Douchebag YouTubers are something I've talked about in the past. They're probably the biggest content creators on the site because kids live vicariously through that kind of content. They see this man who's successful because they watch them. So they feel like they had a part in that person's success. And when they get flexed on, they feel like they've earned that. Like when they're getting flexed on, it's like, hey, I gave you that. Yeah, use it wisely. Kids like that kind of shit because they might not have it, and it feels good that they were able to help someone else achieve it. I understand it. It makes sense. That doesn't mean I respect it, though. It's a very toxic thing. And the reason I'm making this is because I found the perfect example of a douche tuber today. Memulus made a video on a man named Ryan Franklin who is the epitome of a douche tuber. He does it all. And I want to take a hard look at his channel here to show you exactly what douche tubers are and why they're a bad thing.
For shoes, my shoes cost more than your whole outfit, so yeah, easy.
First, flexing. I'm only going to show one Ryan Franklin clip per point to illustrate it because I don't want to show more than necessary, because I understand not everyone has a war-hardened stomach like I do that can hold on to vomit when they see abysmal content like this. So I'm only going to show as much as necessary to get the points across so you are not tortured with more Ryan Franklin content than you need to be. In nearly everything that Ryan does, there's some degree of flexing. In a video it'll be, oh, look at this Gucci hat I just bought, or oh, hey dad, I just spent $2,000 on this Louis Vuitton trench coat. On Instagram he'll post, just bought this extremely expensive pair of shoes, these Yeezys. Oh, check out this Gucci condom on my micro penis, hashtag blessed. He is always flexing. And flexing is one of the main things with douche tubers. I really personally don't understand why people will just stand for that. That's just so insulting and spitting in your face. Hey, you've supported me, now I'm going to brag to you that you don't have these things, so f*** you. I don't get that, and I think that's just a really bad thing to do, unhealthy more than anything. It shows nothing but insecurity or a sense of holier than thou, which all douche tubers have. They always think they're more important than all of their viewers, and they always have this belief that the world owes them everything and then entitled to everything the world has to offer.
I'm a hypocrite, which, you know, like, cool, whatever, like, I don't actually care, but apparently I'm a hypocrite because I complain about people doing clickbait, but then proceed to do clickbait myself. Now, I sort of get your point, but at the same time, your points are irrelevant, right? They're dumb, they're stupid. I mean, I do the odd misleading thumbnail, the odd misleading title here and there, and if you're dumb enough to, like, you know, be misled and like actually go onto the video, like, I've clickbaited you, I won, I've got the extra view, like, you're so dumb if you've gone onto the video thinking.
I'm in firm agreement with Ryan on this point here. If you are a fan of Ryan Franklin, you are dumb, and you are stupid. As you can see, this illustrates my point I just made, where he thinks he's better than all of his viewers. He thinks they're all very dumb for even falling for his clickbait, and most douche tubers feel the same way. Hey, my audience is so dumb I can clickbait the shit out of anything even if it makes no sense. Aliens invaded my boners at 3 a.m. while watching SpongeBob? Haunted, super scary, you won't believe, number 6, 10 million views. So yeah, I agree the viewers of these kind of people, I wouldn't necessarily call them stupid, but they're naive because they're children, they're being exploited with this misleading shit, which is awful in my opinion.
I don't see the attraction. Like, I'm not openly like, oh, like,
I wasn't laughing at that.
Now, one of the main things he does is he always insults any of his haters based on their appearance. He always goes right for appearance insults, and he does not discriminate. It doesn't matter your age, sex, race. You could be a f***ing alien. You're still a target. Everyone is equal in his eyes. Here he is taking on a 6-year-old, and he showed no mercy. The full wrath of his clever roasting was laid down upon this 6-year-old. He was merciless.
What's wrong with your hair? Your hair is so ugly.
right, hair jokes. I mean, I've never heard those before in my life. If I had £1 for every single time someone mocks my hair for the colour or the style or anything, it doesn't matter. I'll be living in the Bahamas.
I wonder why he gets so many hair jokes. I honestly can't imagine. I'm gonna go ahead and pile on it though. You look like Bert from Sesame Street. I'm sure you get that one all the time, so that's nothing new. Your hair looks like Anthony Sullivan's Smart Mop after it was used to clean up a pile of Chaz Finster's pubic hair. I'm actually really glad you chose that hairstyle though, honestly. It lets people know you're a douchebag without ever having to talk to you. Your hair looks like 3 rusted slinkies that had an orgy on top of your head that you just decided not to stop. So you're welcome. There's 4 more for your Bahamas fund.
And do you know what's the most awkward thing is when this calls you ugly?
Oh no, look out! We've been invaded by Ryan Franklin! No, I'm just kidding. That's not Ryan Franklin. That's Watto from the Star Wars prequels. Ryan is way too much of a pussy to confront someone directly. He's already privated his Twitter account and because he's a big old. But you see what I did there, Ryan? I compared you to Watto, and Watto is known for not being super great looking in The Phantom Menace. So I'm calling you ugly. You get it? You know, because that's what you do. Man, you really took that 6-year-old down to size, man. What are you, like 19 or 20, and you're just calling a child ugly? Are you out of your mind, man? Holy sh**.
Well, I opened up some fan mail. This is a letter from one of you guys. I think her name's Jessica. I haven't opened that fan mail in 2 years.
What a cool guy. He couldn't even be bothered to read who the fan mail was from. He's had it for 2 years and hasn't opened it. What a piece of shit. I honestly don't think that fan mail is actually from somebody. I feel like he just wrote that himself as Jessica. I don't think this guy's getting fan mail or ever has in the past.
you do want me to get maybe like another PO box, that sort of thing, so you guys can send me in letters, maybe like candy from your country, then you know I'll definitely do it.
Oh yeah, that's what we want you to do, Ryan. Open up another P.O. box so they can send you letters that you'll never read for 2 years. Great idea, you stupid son of a... Amazing. Hey guys, you want me to open another P.O. box so you can send that I ignore? How's that sound? Great, huh? Again, just further proving he does not give a about his fans or anyone for that matter. Unbelievable.
Now, I don't intentionally flex on my fans.
How the do you have an accidental flex? Oh, whoopsie. I accidentally just started taking pictures of all of my expensive possessions and saying how great they were and then accidentally uploading them all over everything that I own. Damn, what a silly mistake. I mean, there's no correcting it now. It's already out in the wild. I'm sorry, guys.
First one was a joke to Ruby Roo, because obviously during the summer I made a few videos on her, and yeah, the video's done well in terms of, you know, views, got me money, okay? So I was doing a joke, like that tweet is a joke, like the whole Yeezy thing. It's a joke. You don't realise, actually, like, I feel that I'm quite misunderstood. I said this in yesterday's video.
This is always the fleshlight these douchebags start to use once it starts backfiring with all of their douchebaggery and bragging. Oh, it's just a joke. I'm just playing a persona. Ha ha ha. I'm not really a huge insufferable asshole. It's just a joke. Lighten up, guys. But it's very clear it's not a joke, because none of it's done in a comedic way or anything entertaining at all. It's just being an asshole. Jokes on you guys, I'm not really an asshole, ha 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 ha. If you have to keep reiterating that it's a joke time and time again, maybe it's not a good joke, or maybe you're the joke. It's just f***ing silly, because it's very obvious to anyone that you're not kidding. You're just being a douchebag. Now, this was a National Geographic look at the douche tuber, and I hope you've all learned something about this abhorrent species. I really have no respect for these kind of people at all, and hopefully you're walking away with this knowledge and also forming an opinion that, hey, maybe these aren't great people that I should be letting either my kids or my brothers and sisters that are young watch, because it sets a bad example for them. It really does. 100%. That's it. So yeah, today as I was perusing the popular tweets on Twitter, reading the inspirational platitudes from celebrities we all love, giving us such powerful statements like, bullying isn't cool, being nice is cool. I never used to be this incredibly rich, wealthy, and successful. I used to be not this super rich, wealthy, and successful, but then one day I said, I want to be rich, wealthy, and successful, so I went out and did it. What's your excuse, nerd? Stay lit. Bless 100. If someone pours milk into your cup, don't f with them, because they're a mean person. They didn't even ask if you were lactose intolerant. Only care about nice people. Stay nice, don't be mean. And as I was fist pumping in agreement with these eye-opening statements, I came across one that was a little different. This one was pretty negative. It was about this woman's morning routine and how fake it was. And truthfully, I don't see what's fake about this at all. I mean, I also wake up every morning surrounded by $50 worth of helium heart balloons with a giant good morning sign and covered in a blanket of my own face, while also having a stack of tortillas that I'm trying to pass off as pancakes, just because I'm trying to pull a little practical joke on God. I want God to think I started my morning with pancakes, but that idiot doesn't realize it's just tortilla wraps. Now let's go ahead and read this and get inspired. The best of days starts with a smile and positive thoughts, and pancakes. You're not fooling me, Scarlett. You may fool Penn and Teller with that trick, but I'm a bit sharper. I can clearly see those are tortilla wraps. Those are not pancakes. I don't understand why she's using a stunt double for pancakes here. They're really not that hard to come by. Maybe she was just very lazy, or she just doesn't like pancakes in general, but still, a stack of tortilla wraps, not fooling me. And strawberries. Can confirm those are real strawberries. Well, I can't confirm they're real. They might be plastic, but they at least represent actual strawberries. It's not a stand-in. And bottomless tea. My morning routine is now live on YouTube, and while I don't show you my real bed hair, trust me, it's not pretty, I do give you a little insight into how I start my day in a positive way. Well, it's a little sad that this isn't completely genuine. Everything else seems pretty normal, like a normal routine here, but if that's not a real bedhead, that didn't take me right out of the immersion immediately. Head over to my stories for a swipe up link and let me know what you think. It features my morning habit of rinsing with Listerine Advanced White to help whiten my teeth. At Listerine UK Ireland, hashtag bring out the bold. This is a paid partnership with Listerine. Now, isn't this just hashtag relatable? Every good morning seems to start with a hard rinse of Listerine Advanced White to help whiten our teeth. Hashtag bring out the mold. Honestly, I can't even get out of bed unless I smell the strong aroma of Listerine Advanced White calling my name and gracing my nostrils. It's like a fly to a pile of dog. I just come running. I need to start my morning with Listerine Advanced White. So honestly, I'm confused why everyone thinks this is so fake and disingenuous. To me, this seems like a pretty standard morning routine.
Good morning.
My room looks exactly... Sorry, I'm allergic to set design. My room looks the exact same way. I've got balloons and good morning signs. I buy new roses every day to give myself in the morning, and I have a picture of eyes looking down on me while I sleep. It makes me feel safe.
Good morning and welcome to my updated summer morning routine. I know you guys loved my last
The
one and I've
dogs.
since changed things around a little, including my room. The first thing I do when I wake up is make my bed.
No, you don't, Scarlet. Nobody does. You could create an android whose sole purpose was making the bed every morning, and it would slack on it. It would take days off. Nobody makes the bed immediately after waking up every single morning.
I love using Listerine Advanced White because it combats bad breath, lifts stains to give me whiter teeth, puts a protective shield onto my teeth to stop new stains from developing, and it has 3 powerful essential oils to reduce plaque and bacteria.
Now this part I absolutely believe. I think all of us out here start our mornings with Listerine Advanced White. We give a very thorough gargle plargle, that way we're able to coat all our teeth in the essential motor oils it comes with to prevent plaque buildup and anus breath. You don't want any of that running around. I mean, Listerine Advanced White is the only way to start your morning. If you don't start your morning with Listerine Advanced White, did you even wake up? Trademarked.
I wish I really had 3 Scarlets to help me through all those emails that I have to catch up on.
I truly don't think the world could handle 3 Scarlets in the same location. The narcissism would overload the electrical power grid and cause some type of legendary blackout.
Breakfast is homemade granola, coconut yogurt, protein powder, and fruit. Sometimes I even add in a wheat biscuit too.
Holy Scarlet, your gluttony knows no bounds. A wheat biscuit? You got me up. That would ruin my morning right there. You're wild. That's just wild and wacky. But unfortunately, she left out the most important ingredient to her breakfast concoction. It's Listerine Advanced White. She also uses it as a substitute with her cereal. Listerine Advanced White. Use it on your food, too.
My teeth are so much brighter since using Listerine Advanced White, though I'll take any excuse to smile.
Well, slap my barber and color me pink. I'm gonna go out on a limb here and say that's not a genuine smile right there. She's just kind of putting that one on for the camera. There's really not a whole lot of passion behind that smile. But look at those pearly whites. You can only achieve it with Listerine Advanced White. I'll take any excuse to see teeth whitened by Listerine Advanced White. The morning routine. This is the Listerine Advanced White routine.
Next up is a quick scroll through my Instagram feed.
Far be it from me to question this bulletproof Listerine White ritual here, but why? Why do you just scroll through your own Instagram page looking at your own posts? That seems incredibly full of yourself. You're not even looking at comments or criticisms or anything. You're not even looking at anyone else's. You're just looking at the things you've posted.
It's time to start the day.
Well, I hope all of you losers now know how to start your morning like a successful person with Listerine Advanced White. I hope you've learned something from this inspiring morning routine, and hopefully you can be as productive as this with the help of Listerine Advanced White. That's it. So yeah, life hacks are some of the stupidest shit on the internet, to the point where it's almost insulting when you see them. Just dumb bullshit like, if you have to fart and it's not an appropriate place, hold it in. Or super pro tip life hack turbo mode ultras life hack. If you need to remember your passwords to your online accounts, write them down. But I found a channel on YouTube that makes every other life hack look genuinely useful. It's an account called Mr. Gear, who releases some of the most psychotic, dumb, unbelievably ridiculous contraptions that he considers life hacks. So let's go ahead and take a look inside the mind of a lunatic here. So this one starts with scalping an innocent Pringles can. So you murder a Pringles can and the end result will shock you. You won't believe number 6 life hack. Bravo, Mr. Gear. A real MacGyver over here. The world's most repulsive pencil holder and or cup, depending on how you'd like to use it. Really simple, though. All you need is a Pringles can and some yarn straight from the 1800s. That was the dirtiest yarn I've ever seen in my entire life. I swear he must have dug up his great-grandmother's grave and she was buried with all of her sewing materials, and he just picked up her yarn and then wrapped the Pringles can with it. It's not even aesthetically pleasing or anything either. It just looks like you dumped your into a stiff pile of pubic hair. That looks like something that maybe George of the Jungle would have put on his school desk, or Tarzan. No one's gonna want that, and why do you even need 2 Pringles cans and cut them up? Why not just open the Pringles can and use that as the holder? It's the same effect. I guess this is a good solution if you've decapitated your toothbrush but still want to use the head, but I don't know why you'd go through the extra steps of hot gluing it to an eraserless pencil when you can just go to the store and buy a brand new one for 4 cents. One thing you'll notice about Mr. Gear's unique life hacks is they predominantly consist of break and then glue that onto other shit. It's a vicious cycle of just glue and then create the most disgusting product at the very end of the procedure, when you could have just bought something a lot cheaper and saved yourself a lot of trouble. This CD coaster being the perfect example. If you want to use it as a coaster, just use the CD, I guess. If you want to just throw away a Windows 98 instructional DVD, that's totally fine. Why go through the extra step of gluing clothespins that you broke onto it? It's dumb. It doesn't make it look any better. It makes it look even stupider, somehow. Yeah, that looks like a good writing utensil. A straw with the pin. I just don't understand, Mr. Gear. You're 10 steps above human intelligence here. You're existing on another plane that corporeal existence just doesn't quite reach yet. This man is a damn genius. Science said it couldn't be done. Scientists said you couldn't turn a fork into a spoon. What do you call that, scientist? That's checkmate. David Blaine couldn't even turn a fork into a spoon. You know what Mr. Gear says to David Blaine? Suck his Mr. Blaine, because he has just turned a fork into a spoon. An amazing transmutation here, and he teaches everyone how to do it with a simple life hack. I also appreciate how he has a pretty hard cut on the back of his hand that you know he got while cutting up the Coke can, so don't nobody ever say Mr. Gear doesn't make sacrifices for his life hacks. There's a question that's never been asked by a single human being throughout all of history. I don't think anyone gives a shit on how to protect their marker. It's not like there needs to be marker insurance. I've just been burglarized and they broke all of my markers. Luckily, I'm covered. And even if he means protecting the marker from drying out if you lose the cap, who gives a f? Just get another marker. Marker lives don't matter that much. I don't think there's a huge movement to fund research for breakthrough scientific discoveries to increase the lifespan of a marker. I take it all back. That's a f***ing great solution. Just wrap a balloon on it like a condom. Now, is this hack that really greased up my shit stain and confused me, because I was under the impression that these life hacks were aimed at kids just to give them something fun to do, but they really can't be, because he doesn't use kid-friendly tools. He uses box cutters, razor blades, and now a blowtorch. I'm sure the next tool he's gonna break out is a damn circular saw or something. That can't be aimed at kids, because kids shouldn't have access to those kind of power tools and materials. So this has to be aimed at adults, but what full-grown, rational-thinking adult is going to look at any of these and be like, yeah, that's definitely a lot easier than the alternative of just buying a 3-cent replacement. If there is a single living, breathing human being that watched that and unironically thought to themselves, Eureka! Finally, the answer to all of my prayers, the solution to my sleeping problems where it's too bright to sleep. I've found it with the Coke bottle paperclip mask. Damn, too bright for sleeping? Why not just turn off the light? If that's too much trouble, why not get a face mask? Why would you ever make that right there? If there's a single person, though, that unironically made this, I will genuinely shit my pants, take off the pants, and then eat the pants. Because I don't believe a single person out there, no matter how mentally unwell, would look at that and think that's what I need in my life. Thank you, Mr. Gear. I don't know what the this is. Maybe he made a little lemon titty. I have no idea what it's supposed to be. A modern art piece? I couldn't tell you. But damn it, your life has been hacked. Through the miracle of cold fusion and hot glue, Mr. Gears created the world's most inefficient eraser. What a beautiful double whammy to finish this video off from Mr. Gear. He gets you with the 1-2 punch. He makes a pencil sharpener that, well, it's just a pencil sharpener. And then he makes a flimsy plate holder that will 100% break your plates. Your life has been changed. Thank you, Mr. Gear. I'll make sure to do all of these. Never. But damn it, those are some real creative life hacks. So yeah. Today I want to talk about a popular trend on YouTube. I've actually touched on it before. It's those morning routine videos from rich people that are supposed to be like almost motivational, but usually are just used as a vessel to promote their newest product line that's coming out. So I want to talk about one in particular here that I think serves as a good example for all of them. This is the daily routine of a 24-year-old CEO. And just in case you didn't hear me, this is a 24-year-old CEO, and you best not forget it. This man, this 24-year-old CEO, is CEO of 5 companies. And out of the goodness of his heart, he's granting us permission to take a sneak peek into his day-to-day life. His near celestial existence. We, as spectators, get to come in and observe and learn from him. He's allowing us to suckle on his bosom. Nay, he is grabbing us by our unworthy skulls and placing it on his nipples to suckle. And believe it or not, we are truly blessed. He's giving us a sneak preview of his upcoming product lines.
One of my favorite ideas that I've ever heard was the thought of doing today what others aren't willing to do, so I can do tomorrow what they can't.
Meet Jose, the man your girlfriend is in her dreams. Jose is a 24-year-old CEO, if you can believe that, and we're about to see what it's like to go on a date with him, because this is definitely not a day-to-day routine, because he's shirtless half the time and it feels like he's trying to get my dick out of my pants. I really feel like this video should have been what it's like to date a 24-year-old CEO. And spoiler alert, it looks like a headache. This man is so full of cliches and he just comes across as super disingenuous, especially when the majority of this is just centered around his new essentials line of clothing or some like that.
One of my best wins in the morning is waking up at 5 a.m. In my opinion, it gives me a head start, allows me to outwork my competition and get more things done before it's even work hours. Throw on my essentials muscle tee and I'm out.
Excuse me, did you catch that? His essentials muscle tee? If you don't have that, you're not copping wins in the morning. You get up at 4 a.m., but if you don't have an essentials muscle tee, you're losing, baby. The competition's out there beating the shit out of you because they got essentials muscles tee.
All I ever wanted.
I hate running and I hate morning workouts. I do both. This is a great way to callous the mind and start your day off with the win.
Jose just can't stop winning in the morning, baby! He's going for a morning jog. He's going for a morning workout. He doesn't touch on it in the video, but I'm sure while he's going for that jog, he's closing 7-figure deals on his laptop, so he's making use of that time. No time is going to waste, but he still probably finds time to help old ladies across the street, because you gotta cop those big W's, baby.
This is a great way to get my adrenaline pumping. Now that I'm awake, I'll hop in the shower. I prefer to use cold water. It's better than a cup of coffee. It wakes you up instantly and it's actually good for your skin.
You can get your sneak peek of the cameraman in the reflection there. Could be his brother, could just be an 18-year-old kid who was just looking for a quick buck, so posted an ad on Craigslist and Jose hit him up. Kid had no idea what he was in for. I wouldn't be surprised if Jose got totally nude for that shower shot. Cameraman was probably like, hey Jose, we're only doing torso up, you don't need to get naked. No. Here's a CEO lesson for you. No half measures. I'm going full out, even if it's not on camera.
As an entrepreneur, I own a lot of brands, 5 of them to be exact, each of them requiring a lot of time, attention, and care. Most would find just building one brand to be nearly impossible, so the thought of having 5 sounds insane.
When I heard him say that, I damn near my trousers. I couldn't believe it. I was blown back into my chair. 5 brands! It truly does sound impossible, and yet, thanks to the power of cold showers and an early morning jog, Jose is able to do it with ease.
But with good time management, I'm actually able to balance everything perfectly. Now it's time for lunch. Eating clean, this is something that I live by. I preach about it all the time. Health is wealth. If you want to perform right, you gotta feed your body with the proper fuel.
This is a truly riveting daily routine. He gets up, he jogs, he showers, and he eats. Why the didn't I think of that? If only I had come up with these ingenious solutions to wealth, I could have 5 brands by now, damn it. And now, frankly, I'm just mad that he shared the Krabby Patty secret formula with the world.
You see, guys, your time, it's money, which means it's valuable. This is why I don't like to waste time, and instead I multitask. So while I eat, I like to do my tedious tasks, like answering emails.
What is this man? Nay, this god. He's able to eat and answer emails? Oh, Jesus Christ! Science said it couldn't be done! And yet Jose's proved him wrong yet again. As he said in the beginning of the video, do what can't be jerked off yesterday with what I can today, or some profound garbage like that. It's incredible. It's incredible, groundbreaking stuff. I looked into this because I got curious. This whole video is a promotional video for his essential brand or whatever. This video alone, he claims to have generated $1 million worth of sales for his essential brand. Now, I'm no 24-year-old 5-brand CEO or anything, but I can say with a high degree of certainty, you're not gonna get rich by buying his essential muscle teas. That's just not gonna happen. You're immediately doing it wrong. The video is supposed to teach you how to get wealthy, and you're immediately throwing wealth away to make him wealthier. You've done the exact opposite of what you were trying to do by watching this motivational video. So if you bought essential muscle teas thinking that you were gonna get Jose's life because you did that, you're an idiot.
Now it's time for my evening workout. My brand image is everything, so keeping my body in shape is crucial. If that means hitting the weight room 6 times a week, so be it.
2 workouts in a single day? Jose, you've gone mad.
Now I like to focus on compound movements. Being that I was a scrawny, lanky kid just a few years ago, these help me pack on about 30 pounds of muscle. Now what that means for you is that whether you're overweight or scrawny yourself, you could do it too. There's no excuse.
Well, actually, there is an excuse, Jose. Not everyone is a super wealthy elite douchebag. The gym membership's pretty expensive for a lot of people, and compound lifts, a lot of them require access to weights that not everyone's going to be able to find for a cheap price for their own home gym. You know, you need bench press, for example, squat rack. These are things that not everyone has access to, unlike you and your mansion here that you're probably renting. Nobody wants
After the gym, this is my time to unwind.
More like behind. Could you have found a tighter pair of pants? I feel like I can see your asshole through these things. What are these, a size turbo small? Was this just the smallest pair they had available at Baby Gap?
This is my favorite part. I hop in the car and go for a long drive. Business is like a chess game. You always gotta be 3 moves ahead of your competition. So whether that's analyzing the market for new trends or a new business venture, going on these long drives allows me to think creatively and freely.
But only if you have a Lamborghini. If you don't have a Lamborghini, you have no right to be driving around on Jose's roads. Also, I don't really understand that. How the f*** is driving around aimlessly helping you in your business ventures? You are genuinely wasting time, which is one of the things you pledge never to do. It's not like you can get any work done while you're on the road except make idle calls every now and then at a stoplight, unless you're texting while driving, which you shouldn't be. But anyway, this is a genuine waste of time by all definitions, just wildly, aimlessly wandering the roads doing nothing.
Keep walking by.
At the end of the day, when it's all said and done, all the work has been put in, it's time to relax. This is when you let your mind at ease. And for everybody, it could be different, whether it's hanging with friends or reading a good book. For me, it's a good cocktail. Meet up with some friends and innately call it a night.
That's where his day comes to its incredible, exhilarating conclusion, and then he plugs Essential one more time. I gotta say, what a boring day-to-day routine. This dude does less than a day than a professional high school gamer. Like, this dude's day consists of getting up early to jog, work out, shower, eat, answer a couple emails, work out, go on a long drive, and then get a cocktail and go to bed. When the do you do anything interesting or productive for your business? You hype yourself up as this crazy guru CEO, and your day-to-day activities are genuinely doing nothing. I mean, I felt like this was just something that was supposed to woo me over if I matched with you on Tinder or something. This didn't feel like anything of any substance, and of course, shamelessly plugging your brand, which allegedly worked for you, so congrats on that front. But this is totally useless if anyone's trying to be motivated by your day-to-day routine. The only thing this teaches them is, hey, maybe get up early and work out. The most generic advice anyone could ever give anyone. It's just a silly trend of videos. I don't know why rich YouTubers always like to do these day-to-day motivational video activity things. Makes no sense to me. Doesn't help anyone, and it's just shamelessly there to promote whatever merch they're working on. Just some dumb shit. That's about it. So, yeah. I have some fantastic news for all of you today. A heartwarming story, so wholesome, this kind of spirit could make the Grinch's heart grow 3 sizes. Today, it was made clear to a lot of people that I was right all along. They're finding out what I've known since the beginning of time, that James Corden is an unentertaining asshole, whom is an absolute detriment to everything he's in. His presence makes the media that he infests worse. He is the worst part of the movies he is in. He is this miasma of unentertainment, the antithesis of fun. And today, he has been banned from a New York restaurant because he is a massive kid as well. Now, as you know, I've been preaching this like the gospel for years now. He's perhaps my least favorite celebrity, and I hold a personal grudge against him because he once took down a video I made tier listing his most embarrassing moments throughout his career. The video remained on my channel for about 15 minutes before it was manually taken down by his team, and I hold him personally accountable for that sin. Now, I've never met James Corden, and I've only ever heard rumors that he's insufferable to be around and pretty mean in general. I remember there was a comedy team that played a prank on him that made him like late for work, and he came across really bad there. There's also been a lot of stories from people that have either worked for him or met him where they said he was a real asshole. But to me, the biggest crime he'd ever committed in my eyes was just being cringe. I've never disliked him because of the stories I heard about him. That was just the cherry on top of how much I dislike his presence in all of the movies and shows that he somehow infests. He's just been in so much and makes it even worse. So let's go over the situation here today. James Corden's just one of those people where whenever I read something like revealing more about him being an asshole, I can't help but like almost celebrate a little bit, like wiggle my finger. You know, maybe I even stand up and hit a little boogie with it. Oh, what's that, the SpongeBob? Huh? Oh, James Corden's being told? Oh, you don't say. Weird. It's almost like I knew it from the get-go. Whoop, now hit him with the jerk. Now, before showing the manager reports here, I need to make it known that this has been a confirmed true story. This isn't just pulled out of someone's... James Corden has apologized for his actions here, and the owner of the restaurant has accepted the apology and says that he's rescinding the ban on him and he's welcome to come back. I think he should have stuck to his guns, because now the only reason he's apologizing is because of public pressure, because this became such a huge story, it went viral. It's not that James Corden is actually apologetic. He just knows that it's a PR disaster, so he's trying to save face. So here's the full statement from the owner of the restaurant. Their name is Keith McNall, and they said this about James Corden. James Corden is a hugely gifted comedian. I'm going to stop you right there, Keith. We're not even a full sentence deep, and I've just got to make a quick correction here. He's not gifted, nor would he be considered a comedian by most people. He is like the most plain, boring person you could think of, like a default character in PC. But regardless, he continues, a hugely gifted comedian, but a tiny cretin of a man. and the most abusive customer to my Balthazar servers since the restaurant opened 25 years ago. I don't often 86 a customer, but today I 86'd Corden. It did not make me laugh. That statement does make me laugh, though. That's just so blunt, calling him a cretin and then 86ing him saying it didn't make him laugh. Here's 2 examples of the funny man's treatment of my staff. Keith is coming in here with the claws. He's fuming, and rightfully so. I've said this a million times, I'll say it a million more, I'll scream it from the mountaintops. Anyone who is rude to anyone in the customer service industry, waitresses, waiters, cashiers, whatever, anyone who is a douchebag to them, is a completely worthless piece of plain and simple. It takes a special kind of evil to mistreat someone in the service industry like that. I also haven't heard the term 86th since SpongeBob with 86 those patties, crabs. So that was kind of a cool throwback there. So let's look at manager report number 1. In June, James Corden was here on table 61. Although this is diabolical, it happens very occasionally in all restaurants. After eating his main course, Corden showed the hair to Balthazar's manager, G, who was very apologetic. Corden was extremely nasty to G and said, "Get us another round of drinks this second, and also take care of all our drinks so far. This way, I write any nasty reviews in Yelp or anything like that." So this sounds like a pretty big blow up over something pretty minor. Yeah, it's yucky finding a hair in your food. It happens. Most people just suck it up and move on. But I also don't think there's any shame in being like, hey, I found this hair in here, just was hoping I could maybe place another order or get this replaced. I don't think there's anything necessarily wrong with that. Just being respectful about it, because, you know, accidents happen. It's something that just unfortunately happens from time to time. I'm a legitimate hypochondriac, and even I, when I find a hair in my food, pick it out and still finish it. But I do understand why someone wouldn't. I don't think there's anything necessarily wrong to be like, hey, can I, maybe just place another order? I think that's fine. There's no reason to call the manager over, yell at them, and then demand another round of drinks and threaten to leave a nasty review, right? Like, I think that's blowing it way out of proportion. Now let's move on to the second manager report. James Corden was at Balthazar with his wife on October 9th for brunch. He asked for a table outside. Brunch maitre d' Ali Walters took the party to table 301. Mr. Corden's wife ordered an egg yolk omelet with Gruyere cheese and salad. A few minutes after they received the food, James called the server, MK, and told her there was a little bit of egg white mixed with the egg yolk. MK informed the floor manager, G. The kitchen remade the dish, but unfortunately sent it with home fries instead of salad. That's when James Corden began yelling like crazy to the server, "You can't do your job, you can't do your job, maybe I should go into the kitchen and cook the omelet myself." MK was very apologetic and brought G over to the table. He returned the dish, and after that, everything was fine. He gave them promo champagne glasses to smooth things out. G said that Corden was pleasant to him but nasty to the server. MK was very shaken, but professional that she is, continued to finish her shift. So this one I think is a little bit more indicative of the real personality of James Corden. If something is slightly not up to his standards, he loses his temper about it. I think that's very par for the course from all the stories I've read about him, from workers as well as people that have met him, as well as that brief segment where you can see him kind of blowing up in the comedy sketch at his expense. He just seems like the kind of person that is very entitled and feels like they're superior to just normal people around him. So in that entitlement, he blows up at them. "Oh, I'll go back there and cook it then. You guys can't do your jobs. Disgusting. I spit on you plebeians. This is disgraceful. You sent me a dish with house fries instead of a salad? Are you trying to kill me? This is poison." And the fact that he shamelessly has done this twice now, and this one apparently in front of his wife, blows my mind. How anyone can do this in front of other people, especially people they care about, is something that will never compute with me. How do you not get embarrassed? No, this isn't like a tough guy thing. This doesn't make you look alpha. This doesn't make you look like a strong man. This makes you look like you look like an absolute douchebag, weak little man. As Keith calls him, a tiny cretin of a man. Why are you getting so upset at the server who did nothing to slight you? They didn't insult you. Everything that happened wasn't on purpose. It wasn't an attack against you. Sending the dish with house fries instead of a salad is an easy solution. Just be like, "Oh, I actually wanted the salad. And then bang, they'll go get you the salad, I imagine. They're not going to sit there and like challenge you to fisticuffs like, I will not get you the salad, and I'm throwing the gauntlet down. Oh, put him up, Corden. Like, it's just such an easy thing to calmly handle. But I guess not for James Corden here. So these were the 2 manager reports. Now, of course, this isn't anything like crazy. James Corden didn't flip the table and throw water in the face of the server or anything. But even still, this kind of behavior I never have any tolerance for. There is just never an excuse to be rude, mean, nasty, yell and scream at anyone in the service industry. For honest mistakes, there's no excuse for it. Now, if the servers were coming up to him and slapping him around and telling him, hey, idiot, you're stupid, and I hate your talk show, then maybe I'd understand him being like, hey, that kind of hurts. I'm a little upset about that. But they're just doing their job, right? They're just doing their job and getting by. There's just never a reason to be mean to someone in the service industry. So yeah, I just wanted to talk about this a little bit because whenever James Corden fails and makes a fool of himself, I can't help but smile and just take it back from a distance as a spectator sport and be like, yep, that's James Corden for you. You guys are seeing this, right? So you know I was right. Even though I know most people agree that James Corden isn't entertaining. So it's a very cold take, but it's one that I just keep mentioning anytime that it's brought up. So really, that's about it. So yeah. This is the most hostile comment section on YouTube, and I feel like I can say with a high degree of certainty that this is the longest argument ever in a YouTube comment section, lasting an entire year and spanning roughly 500 some replies. Now, with this kind of anger, you would expect the video to be some kind of politically charged video, or maybe somebody said anime should be illegal or that lollies are a crime. Something that really puts a hate boner where someone's flaccid once was. But what if I told you that the video that all of this is taking place on, the most aggressive comment thread on YouTube, was actually on a Paper Mario song? I'm going to take you on a journey through this war zone here. We're not going to read every reply just because there is so many. This thing's longer than the Bible, honestly. But we're going to go through the big parts, the big moments here in the manga, make sure we get the gist of what's going on, because this may be one of the greatest stories ever told. It's got it all. It's got a little something for everyone. A story of betrayal, violence, love, terrorism, action, drama, mystery, and most of all, Mario. Chapter 1, The Catalyst. This is where it all begins. This is ground zero. Lunar1314 leaves a comment saying, I don't care if I get hate because of this opinion, but this is my favorite Paper Mario final boss song. A bold and brave hot take. Someone didn't tell Lunar that opinions are illegal on the internet. It's not the most controversial thing to say, it's simply a matter of liking a song. But this is the internet, and you can't like something that somebody else doesn't like. A lesson our boy Lunar here is about to learn the hard way. Enter the villain, Aramaru 1837, because you're like 9, haven't even played the other games, I guarantee you. And now, just like the Powerpuff Girls when the hotline rings, our hero rolls in, Dave Matthew. These are our primary characters. Of course, we get introduced to other important side characters throughout the season here. The lore gets very deep, trust me. But this is basically the Batman and the Joker, Dave and Aramaru. Dave sweeps in defense of Lunar. How about we agree that you are a jerk? Everyone can have their own opinion, and that is the internet, so no one cares about your opinion to begin with. Also, instead of throwing insults at me, why don't you try to get me to see things from your perspective? It would be a lot more time efficient, and unlike insults, actually accomplishes something in the long run. Or you can continue to assume that I am a mere child that does not know of the 5 other Paper Mario games, or was it 4? Or has even played them, both opinions being completely wrong. But as I said, it's the internet. We can go in circles all day and night and neither of us would get anywhere. So let's not, okay? Dave trying to get out ahead here and squash the beef, giving a fair warning to Aramaru that you do not want to with Dave, but spoiler alert, Aramaru pokes the sleeping bear. You never gave your side, dumb All you did was come on here talking about some damn opinions or some shit. Pretty clear you didn't intend to accomplish anything. Also, you haven't played any other game, have you? It's not hard to know how many Paper Mario games there are, kid. 64, Thousand Year Door, Super Paper Mario, this garbage, and Color Splash, which was actually not bad, but was too weird gameplay-wise to be called a Paper Mario game. And it's this comment right here that makes a good boy go bad. You do not question Dave Matthews' understanding of the Paper Mario franchise, and you do not do it on a public forum like this, and be an asshole about it. The opinion haver that started all of this comes back in here, kicks open the doors to the Church of Paper Mario with tears in his eyes like he just watched his parents having a fight, saying, "All I said was, this is my favorite final boss song in the Paper Mario series, but it turned into a huge fight and I don't understand that." And then Aramaru hits him with a hard dose of reality. "You said you don't care if you get hate, so obviously you do understand, dumb f." Unfortunately, Lunar just doesn't understand that his initial comment was like the assassination of Franz Ferdinand, and now he's started a massive war. And in war, Lunar, there's casualties. I know you can say whatever you want, but please, can you please calm down and make a nice comment to people? Like I said, please not say about 1,000 cuss words with this reply, please. It's not hurting you to read a quick... Look, I'm understanding everything you're saying. I'm just here to calm you down. Not everything in the world is solved by anger. Jedi Brooklyn Green comes in here and tries to reason with Sith Lord Aramaru here about how anger's not the key, but it's all for nothing because Aramaru has already been consumed by his anger. Like I said, I am cutting out a couple things here because there is so much of it. It'd be like a 10-hour video if I read the entire chain. Basically, in a nutshell, Dave was saying this is pointless, it's an internet argument, let's just drop this. And he concludes his monologue with, well, since we both agree that this whole thing is pointless, let us just agree to disagree and be on our way then. Aramaru: cool, so f*** off. Peace was never an option. Nah, seeing your pointless insults because you can't come up with an actual comeback to my remarks is rather funny to me. Heh, I thrive off your pointless rage. Thought it was done. Why you still here, idiot? As I said, I thrive off your rage and anger. You want me to stop? Stop being angry. Easy. Dave Matthews is slowly accumulating power like a spirit bomb fueled by Aramaru's rage. He is laughing in the face of Aramaru's anger. Not angry, dumb piss off. See? Angry. Not angry, dumb piss off. I see that you're running out of comebacks. I can give you a few if you need them. Dave, of course, being one of the world's leading comeback dealers. Not stressful, you're just annoying, lol. And there's plenty of music better than this even from Color Splash. Uh-huh. Why don't you go back to your 1,000-year-old game and super overrated Paper Mario game? Your screen, oh boo-hoo. Let me play a sad song for you on the world's smallest viol... Oh wait, I broke it. If this was done, why did you reply? Metal Mario coming in here just spitting straight venom in the face of Aramaru here, lighting him on fire with the world's smallest violin comment. Nice try, dumb, but I haven't even played any Paper Mario games except Color Splash. Now f*** off with your excuses for jokes. People have better to read. When I initially made it to this chapter the first time and got blindsided by this plot twist, I recoiled into my chair, threw my arms in the air. I was just so absolutely shocked. I felt like I was witnessing history, like I am your father level twists here. This is subverting expectations done extremely well. Not Game of Thrones Season 8 bullshit. This is how you surprise a reader with a narrative plot twist. Who could have seen this coming? If you remember back to the genesis of this whole mess, it started with Aramaru melting down and breaking in his room over the fact that somebody liked a Paper Mario song he didn't like, and then accuses them of not having played any of the other Paper Mario games, and then only a short 100 replies later, he himself admits he's only ever played one Paper Mario game, and it's not even this one. It's so remarkable. What an incredible twist. That is character development right there. Now we're getting a little bit of the origin story of Aramaru here, which only makes him even more mysterious. Well, I see my sympathy was misplaced. You seriously judge a game on what other people say about it? You sure have missed many a good game. Also, shame on you. Don't give out criticism if you don't actually have the knowledge to back it up. It's just stupid to say something's wrong and then give no evidence at all to support your theory. And that's researching 101. This guy Reddits. Also, it appears that you really do only know how to spit out insults. I'm gonna have fun with this. Hello again, my old friend. I see you're here to argue once again. Too bad this will end with you weeping, because your argument is less than the dust I'm sweeping. But you will not give up yet, because you don't realize that it's the internet. The internet. So you might as well be voiceless, as all arguments here are practically worthless. Dave Matthews goes full Robert Frost here with this personalized slam poem to Aramaru. I get that it's supposed to be a Sound of Silence parody, and it's Executed wonderfully. A special song poem about the argument you still persist on despite the flaws in your argument. P.S. You still haven't told me what your favorite song in the series is. Did I ask? No, I didn't. F off. Shut the f up. I didn't even read what you said because I just know it's dumb as shit, lol. Come on, man. He took the time to write an entire parody song for you. The least you could do is read the lyrics. For about 4 days, there was peace in the comments section where people were going over things they liked and didn't like about the game, and then Aramaru comes in full fury here, pitchfork in hand, ready to slap shit around. He reignites the argument by saying, obviously do if yo won't just leave the conversation. Dave says, ha ha ha, now I remember why I stick around. I love to see what kind of pathetic retort and comeback you are going to make at me that I can easily tear apart. Really, it is rather satisfying to see what you come up with. Once again, there was a truce called in the comment section for about a week, and then Aramaru came back, and Dave immediately noticed. He's like the NORAD defense system, able to hone in on Aramaru's presence and then attack. Oh, hello there. Ready for round 2, my little whiny failure? Round and round the argument goes. When will it stop? No one knows. That meme has been dead, f***ing idiot. I'm ready for you to piss off, you worthless. I did not drag your pride through the mud and make you look like a brainless, arrogant maggot. You did. You destroyed your own argument. You ignored the statements that made you look like a fool. You chose to spit out nothing but insults. Your fault. Your stupidity. Deal with it. Or stick around and continue to look like a moron. It's entertaining. And besides, we win either way. And you lose either way. Dave hits him with some kind of superhero monologue right before he throws the bad guy in jail. And Aramaru says, don't care to read your arguments, lol. As a matter of fact, I only read the first reply, lol. Quit wasting my time and f*** off. Then you are nothing but a bottom-barrel fool who will have no success in life. As I said, you don't bother to defend yourself at all. That makes you an idiot. Also, why should I? You have no power here and you never will. The fact that you think you do just displays your idiocy for everyone. Besides, I already gave you the requirements for my departure. Or are you incapable of reading as well, my little maggot? Everything Dave has been saying thus far sounds like the Rick and Morty copy pasta from Reddit. I mean, I think Dave is in the right here because Aramaru is a huge f***hole, but man, he's really going about all of it in a terrible way. A month goes by. Is he finally gone? Yeah, he is gone. Is he gone if your dumb ass would just quit replying? I didn't even read shit you said. I told you that I would only leave if you either apologized for being rude, or if you went 10 comments without swearing. You're not good at remembering things, are you, my little maggot? Hello, little maggot. Just letting you know that I am still in this comment chain, just in case you thought you were rid of me or that you actually won this argument. Okay, bye now. This was after a month of him not replying, so Dave just really wants to continue this, and nothing makes me more uncomfortable than reading Dave keep calling someone my little maggot. Like, this must be how it feels for some girls when they hear the word moist. Every time I read him saying my little maggot, I just get like tingly and uncomfortable and break out into like a little profuse sweat. It's just yucky. I feel like I'm reading some old woman's fanfic where she's describing some weird sexual intercourse she had at a biker bar or something, and it's just making me uncomfortable. I don't know why he keeps calling this guy my little maggot. I don't give a f*** where you are, dumb. Just like no one cares about you, my little maggot. This will be the last time you see Dave with this kind of confidence because he's about to meet the actual muscle here. Mr. Hater. If Aramaru was a supervillain, then Mr. Hater is a turbo villain. He's a galactic villain, a universal threat, a divine being of villainy. I don't even know what to call him, a raid boss of villainy. Because he comes in here and just starts slapping shit around. He's a big asshole as well, of course, but he brings Dave to his knees here. This is like when you're reading a comic book and the hero's in trouble. So Mr. Hater comes in here with a full chub, full erection, red alert. He calls out Dave in front of the entire classroom. I see you have a superiority complex and are very self-centered. How very hypocritical. You're no better than him. Guess I gotta clean house and deal with little keyboard warriors like you myself. That is honestly like some Marvel's Thanos shit right there. Dave is still riding the high after he seemingly defeated Aramaru, so he replies to Mr. Hater with a large amount of confidence and a bit of arrogance, saying, Heh, you poor naive fool. When did I ever claim that I was better than little maggot? That I'm better than you? Oh, to live in your little fantasy. Can you not see what I am doing? Or are you just as blind as he is? Of course, I can tell you're cut from the same cloth as my little maggot, so I'll humor your attempts at insulting me and everyone else present. Let's see how long you last. Dave's still under the impression that he's the king of this Thunderdome, but what he hasn't realized yet is Mr. Hater's not locked in here with Dave. Dave is locked in here with Mr. Hater. Oh, I know your intentions very well, and I intend to stop it. I mean, what the hell is wrong with you? Just look at your comment, you poor naive fool, to live in your little fantasy. These are things that a narcissistic, self-centered man-child would say. How am I, or anyone with half a brain cell, supposed to take you seriously? There's a reason the other guy left. You won't last long, Dave. You won't last long because underneath all that bravado, you're just a sad little boy with delusions of grandeur, who, by the way, can't talk for So here's a piece of friendly advice. Turn away now and stop wasting Aramaru's time, because if you don't, by the time this is over, you'll be my little maggot. No response. Guess I must have hit one of your soft spots, Winky. So you actually have some bite, do you? Good. Let's see what you've got. I will compliment you on your use of insults, as well as how you get straight to the point. Dave is immediately showing that Mr. Hater has hurt him. You can't do that, Dave. You can never show weakness to a man like Mr. Hater. He can smell blood in the water. He can smell cum in a bathtub. He will pounce, and you can't let him find any amount of scrapes on your armor. Dave, he showed a weakness, and Mr. Hater exploited it, unfortunately. Heh, of course you didn't realize. I wasn't talking about Lunar. I was talking about you and me. We don't care what others think of our opinion. We just say whether we agree or disagree with someone's opinion. In that way, we are alike, you and I. Don't you agree? I love this exchange here. This is like the season finale here when the two characters are monologuing at each other before they start beating each other with like a stick or something. Ah, I see you're trying to get on my good side. As you know what they say, if you can't beat them, join them. How about this, Dave? Write a full paragraph apologizing to Aramaru, and I might consider agreeing with you. And, by the way, it has to be real nice, so no calling him my little maggot. Otherwise, I might just start calling you that myself. That would require me to have a single shred of respect towards little maggot. And in case you did not read the whole conversation, I did apologize to him. He threw it back in my face and used it to insult me without responding to it whatsoever. You, on the other hand, are actually participating in a discussion, while my little maggot only responds with the same insults like he's a broken fax machine. You, I respect, little wasp. I forgot to click read more for the screenshot, but it said, I do not respect little maggot. So now Dave, for some reason, is calling Mr. Hater Little Wasp. I don't understand where he's getting this from. Maybe like from old 60s movies or something where it was cool. And then he references a fax machine which hasn't been in use for the last 30 years. So I just don't know what's really going on here. Maybe Dave is caught in a time vortex and he's communicating with us from the past. And he's only able to communicate through the comment section of Paper Mario Final Boss Song. But yeah, just really love this part here. This feels like the climax of the entire argument. Dave going with the whole, we're not so different, you and I. We're one of the same. It's like some shit you'd see in Naruto Sasuke right before their final fight. It's wonderful. You make a fair point. I shall apologize to him, but do not expect a paragraph. You make sound arguments, Mr. Wasp. I'm not one to call someone by childish names, but you are very hypocritical after all, so I expect nothing less. Anyway, do go ahead. Where's the apology? I don't see it. Mr. Hater's trying to rush this. It hasn't even been a full day at this point. Mr. Hater, he wants that apology ASAP. So now you can see Mr. Hater has assumed control of this entire argument. The entire tone has shifted here, and now Dave is at the mercy of Mr. Hater, and he wants his homework. Do not rush me. It's been 2 days now, so no excuses. You aren't gonna apologize, are you? I figured as much. If you wish to continue arguing, then be my guest, kid. Dave is starting to panic a little bit. He doesn't want to write this apology because he does not respect Aramaru, but he is afraid of Mr. Hater, so he's caught in between a rock and a hard place here, and he's treading water in the comment section. 1, I have a life at the moment. 2, you need a little bit of patience. 1 word. College. You don't go to college, David. Then you clearly set your expectations of me far too low. A shame, really. I thought you would be smart enough to not do what little maggot did. Stop lying to yourself, David. How about you tell me what's actually going on? College, as I said before. Do you not listen, or are you refusing to believe that I have a life outside of this? Now, if you excuse me, I have a music class to attend. I really don't understand why Dave even feels compelled to keep answering at this point. He doesn't want to write the apology. He shouldn't write an apology, honestly. He just doesn't have to reply to Mr. Hater. He can just wash his hands of this whole thing and still come out as the victor. But for some reason, he keeps engaging with Mr. Hater in here, and Mr. Hater's pressure is somehow like leaking into Dave's real world, it seems, because it feels like he's stressing about this apology, which he shouldn't write in the first place. Mr. Hater goes in on Dave, starts poking holes into his claims about college because 4 months ago it was still coronavirus shutdown, so classes weren't going on, so Dave feels the need to defend himself again. And then he kind of just explains he just doesn't want to apologize, which he shouldn't. I'm glad he doesn't. Dave says, 1, truthfully, I don't want to apologize to Armu because I know for a fact it would not be genuine, and no matter how much I hate a person, I'm not going to insult them by giving them a mocking half apology. And 2, online classes are a thing that exists, and I'm not doing just a music class. Who is the antagonistic one here? Because it definitely isn't me. You poor, pathetic whelp, barking and baying like anything you say will ever matter. No, your words don't hurt me because they are artificial, fake, designed, and spoken for the sole purpose of inflicting pain without putting actual feeling behind it. Ha 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 ha. No, your words are hollow and do not deserve the electrons my brain cells would have to burn to process them, just like you. You're not special, you're not unique, you're not important, and you never will be, not now, not ever. So go ahead whelping, keep making a fool of yourself. I'll just watch the show, laughing all the while. And in your ivory tower of hypocrisy, did you ever once realize I never denied what you have been saying? You are a parasite, Mr. Hater. Something that must tear everyone down to justify their worthless existence. Perhaps I am one too, but that's where our similarities end. You lash out at anyone you see as below you. I lash out at people who do what you and Armu did. Insult and tear into someone because they dared to have an opinion you did not agree with, or lash out at people who defend themselves from other people like you. I never said I was better, but does it really matter in the end? At the end of the day, one of us looks like the bad guy to everyone else, and since I haven't been antagonizing everyone participating in this, it most definitely not me who's the bad guy. Try to say I'm wrong here. You're not wrong, Dave. Not at all. And people like Aramaru and Mr. Hater, yeah, they suck a lot of It's sad that someone cares this much about someone's opinion on something that doesn't matter. 100%. Agree with you entirely there, Dave. But the way you're handling all this and then putting this huge, presidential speech here is not good either. This is the wrong way of handling any of this. And there's really just no point in arguing in a YouTube comment section to begin with. There are no winners here. Mr. Hater breaks down his response line by line. You lash out at anyone you see as below you. Dave, don't be ridiculous. I'm not as narcissistic as you, or at all for that matter. I lash out at anyone who do what you and Armu did. A mistake you will regret, as you have started all of this, and I aim to end it. The two go back and forth about the apology that Dave doesn't want to write. Mr. Hater just keeps picking apart each line of everything he says. My words are said solely to get you to leave. That's never going to happen, Dave. I've grown very persistent over the years, and trust me, persistence pays, and I will stay here for months if I had to. Will you? Yeah, big guy, I'm sure your persistence pays. Living in a comment chain for months. How productive and incredible. There are just some people who live their life to argue online, and it's sad as This guy is the perfect example, willingly saying, I will stay in this thread for months because I have nothing else going on in my life. That is pathetic. That's sad, Mr. Hater. Apology seems unlikely. Then you will perish here eventually with me, as it's either you apologize to Aramaru now and we'll be on our way, or we're going to be staying here for a long, long time. So, with that being said, let's just start all over on a positive note. We aren't going to start all over on a more positive note until you start apologizing, Dave. Are you going to apologize for your own hostility? Short answer, no. Unlike you, I did nothing wrong, Dave. So it's either you apologize to Aramaru and behave, or you slowly perish with me for months. Either way, I consider it a win-win. And this is where the story stops. I mean, it goes on a little bit further, but nothing is more pathetic than this mic drop from Mr. Hater. These are the people you argue with online, people that have actually nothing better to do. He considers it a win-win if someone is perishing, wasting their time in a comment section with him. That's so sad. He considers it successful if he wastes somebody else's time and wastes his own time because he's already miserable in the first place. Oh, actually, I almost forgot. 3 months after all of this went down, as the dust was starting to settle, Mr. Hater and Dave just stopped communicating with each other, and there was just momentary bliss as everyone read through the thread. And then Yoshi comments, tagging Aramaru, and Aramaru's been tagged this entire time. Yoshi just points out it's been 10 months, but 64 really good, kind of basic, 1,000 Year Door, bop, and all this. Just kind of breaks down his opinion of the music. And then Aramaru, from out of fucking nowhere, comes out of retirement to deliver one of the most powerful conclusions to any story ever given. I don't give a fuck about your opinion, this song is still sh**. What a beautiful way of wrapping all of this up. But yeah, anyway, the last interaction between our main characters was 4 months ago. From what I checked today, there wasn't any new developments that I noticed. A few more people have been made aware of this because it was posted on Twitter, that's how I found it. And this has just been truly a joy, delightful to read through. So just keep all this in mind next time you think you're confident enough to leave an opinion on a Paper Mario song. That's about it. So yeah, in 2019, McDonald's paid a YouTuber to create a sponsored video to try and get their audience interested in working at McDonald's. And together, they created an abomination. The video comes from a vlogging channel who talks about how it was their dream to work at McDonald's for 2 hours, I guess. He works a shift at McDonald's, talking about how amazing it is. In the beginning, he talks about how easy it is to apply to McDonald's and how great of an opportunity it is. So very corporate. McDonald's is using this man like a fleshlight. He's talking about McDonald's being basically heaven on earth with the way he's describing it. You know, I almost damn near applied to work there myself after finishing the video. But the whole thing is so condescending, and it breaks my #1 rule for human decency. Don't f with people just doing their jobs, especially in the service industry. Any job where someone has to interact with customers is absolutely miserable. Not even the deepest pit of hell would subject the damned souls to that level of torture. It's just that inhumane. So don't be that douchebag that makes their job worse. And unfortunately, this video annihilates that rule. I wouldn't be surprised if the vlogger is the Hamburglar in disguise. This is just downright uncomfortable. Per usual though, I'd like to give a quick reminder, don't harass anyone in this video.
We are in the kitchen watching down there. It's so much bigger than I thought it was going to be.
Her face right there really tells the whole story. He's just a nuisance. This is an actual workday with legitimate workers, not paid actors, just here doing their jobs, just hoping to clock in, clock out, call it a day. But this dude just rampages throughout the kitchen, bombarding them with questions, as well as just acting like an overly enthusiastic drunk football fan, and just getting in their way and talking down to them at points.
This is good. This is good. Oh my word! Look at that. That is the burger presses. That's what cooks the burgers. It's mental.
This guy's acting like a caveman seeing technology for the first time. He had his mind blown that patties were being cooked back here, pointing out the burger press is mental. Like, what do you mean? What do you think happened? You think Ronald McDonald was just in the back pulling the patties out of his... Like, of course they're getting cooked back here. It's a f***ing kitchen. That's what happens, you know? It's not sorcery. I don't understand why this grown man is pretending to be surprised that patties are being cooked. He's acting like a child at Disney World, just stunned by everything they're seeing and excited by everything.
So I'm here with Ruben. How you doing? You good? We're gonna be learning how to make something today, a burger or something. But before we do, I wanted to ask you, how have you found it working at McDonald's so far?
It's fun. It's challenging.
He probably had to ask 20 workers that question before he got a response that wasn't just overwhelmingly negative. But he finally found someone who's here to play ball. Ruben seems to be a very nice guy, you know, saying it's fun and challenging. But now Ruben will face the biggest challenge of his life, teaching this man-child hype beast how to make a Big Mac for his goofy sponsored vlog.
What, ground here?
That one? Yep, goes in there.
And one of this
The middle one in there.
and this one.
Other way. This is.
Look at that blank, lifeless expression here while trying to pretend he's having fun. He's trying his best to make this sponsored video something positive, I think. He's just missing the mark. He's trying way too hard to make this seem genuine. It comes across as so fake, especially considering that the vlogger is a millionaire.
And you've got full stars here.
Yeah, I'm a good trainer.
Look,
Yeah.
I've got no stars.
No, that is about teaching everyone.
Awesome. Well, maybe one day I'll get more stars like you. Right. Okay. So now we've got the van.
Just a silly statement because we all know you're not going back to McDonald's. You're just going right back to the mansion and vlogs.
We just do one.
Yeah, one. Yeah.
Yeah.
I want more on this one.
Oh, this one as well. I'm so happy. Okay. Perfect. I've made my very own Big Mac. Successful order out. Yes.
This whole video reminds me of that feeling when you get a Christmas present that you really didn't want, but it came from a family member and they're sitting right there watching you open it. So then you're obligated to pretend that you're excited about it and happy, like, oh wow, Mima, thank you so much. I really wanted a shake weight for Christmas. This is awesome. Yeah. That's this video. He's just like, for some reason, so over the top happy about everything, even though it's pretty see-through that he doesn't care. It's just a sponsored post. But bless Ruben's heart, because this guy seems like such a great guy. He made the Big Mac himself and just let the vlogger put the patties on. So he didn't compromise someone's order for the sake of this guy's awful vlog. He still made a quality Big Mac because he didn't want the vlogger to ruin it. So hats off to you, Ruben, for that.
That's how we do it here. This is, honestly, this is an operation. This is such an operation. Look at the burgers going. This is just mental. I never ever thought it was like this. Like, never. I'm really impressed, though. I'm really, really impressed. Like, you got to be on the ball here.
What do you mean? What do you think was happening at McDonald's? This shouldn't come as a surprise. You can see the kitchen from the counter when you're placing an order inside. Like, what did you think was going on back there? They have a wizard on staff who's just conjuring up all of your food when you place an order?
Okay, we're going to learn how to fry some chips, right? Yeah? This is something that I've wanted to do. One question I wanted to ask you, what's one skill that you've learned here that you never thought you would like to learn when you first started? I think I'd fit in perfectly, you know? I've got the skills, you know, I think I've learned a lot as well.
There's just something wildly uncomfortable about this whole video. From asking these pseudo-interview questions to pretty much everyone he talks to. I think he was probably forced to ask these questions by the sponsor for the video. And then also just his fake enthusiasm. It's just bad.
Blurry machine, oh my word, this is like a dream come true. So we're gonna make this, but I want to ask you first. You're the customer care assistant. Damn. Well, look at you. That's great. So you're dealing with customers all the time.
Yes, I do.
That's perfect. That's why you're the customer care assistant. Yes.
You see what I mean? There's something just off-putting about the way he talks to the workers here. Saying like, damn, look at you, or that's why you're the customer care assistant. Like, it just seems so belittling and talking down to them. Maybe I'm reading too deep into it, and maybe he's just not comfortable in this format, but that's just the vibe I got across this whole thing, where he feels like he's better than everyone around him, so he's just teasing, like passively teasing them. I've never really liked these kind of videos where they treat average people like props for their videos. I think it's terrible, and this whole video just comes across as douchey, and it certainly isn't helped when he said, like, this is a dream come true. Obviously he doesn't mean that. Put your money where your mouth is. If you really do mean that, quit vlogging and work full-time at McDonald's for the rest of your career. Show me that you really mean that this is a dream come true for you.
Hi, sir. How are you doing? How can I help you today? Welcome to McDonald's.
I'm good. All right. What are you doing?
I'm now working at McDonald's, James. Yeah. What would you like, mate?
I get plain chicken legend.
What would you like to serve?
I get plain chicken legend.
All right. So you need to pay. Sir, total price is £5.99. Would you like to pay cash or card? Cash or card. Oh.
Oh, jeepers. This part is rough. And I cut out like a full minute of this conversation. I feel awful for the worker that had to stand next to this guy during this full NPC conversation here. There is no bit of dialogue that's cut from the video or edited. It's just an uninterrupted flow of consciousness with them kind of making a mockery of it as the worker stands there next to them at the cash register. Like, it honestly feels like McDonald's sponsored this guy to bully the workers. It just seems so, like, passively aggressive at points. It just dreadfully misses the mark. McDonald's sponsored a clown to go to the facility to make the workers' day a little worse for 2 hours.
Pretty well. I did pretty well. So, we're working at McDonald's. What have you learned? Have you learned a lot about money management? Because you're on the tills.
Yeah, definitely. Well, mostly confidence.
Confidence. That's the big one. So you're a lot more confident when customers come up. You can greet them. You can say hello. You can have a conversation.
So they remember their whole experience in McDonald's.
This is a cry for help if I've ever seen one. This is a blink twice if you're being held hostage kind of situation. That response does not seem real. It seems like they fed her that for the video. I don't think anyone that has ever worked at McDonald's has anything positive to say about customer experience. That is without a doubt the worst part of the job, I'd imagine, having to talk to entitled holes that go into McDonald's, because that seems to be a common occurrence. Of every public fight video that exists online, every single one of them, I would argue 98% happen at a McDonald's. Like, you either go to McDonald's for food or to fight. So I find it very hard to believe that she speaks highly of being able to interact with the customers.
I'm very good. I've had an amazing afternoon working at McDonald's today. How do you think I got on?
Pretty good.
So do you think I could potentially work here or develop into another role? Yeah?
I'd love to have you on our team.
Yes.
Well, that is great news. Now his dreams really can come true. He's talking about how amazing it is, so I have no doubt that he signed up right after this video ended, and if I visited this McDonald's location, I would see him right back there having a good time making the Big Macs and blowing him a little kiss, making him with love because of how much he loved it, clearly. I cut out a lot of this video because a lot of it was just him interacting with his cameraman or his friend at the cash register for a painfully long time, and then another uncomfortable pseudo interview. But I'll let him take it out here.
Amazing shift and worked with the best team ever over here. They're so hard working, and I genuinely didn't realise how much of a big operation it is behind me. I thought, it's kind of flipping the odd burger here and there, doing fries. But I've learned so many incredible skills from just being here for the day.
I didn't cut out any of the work he did because he didn't do any. He didn't do He did 3 things. He put 2 patties on a Big Mac that Ruben made, and he dunked some fries into the deep fat fryer and called it a day. Oh, actually, and he also made a McFlurry, kind of, but it was really the person next to him that made it, and he just held it. I can't imagine anyone enjoyed having him around. It wasn't exactly like a really pleasant experience for them, I don't think. I can't imagine they wanted to go into work that day and be like interviewed or have some hype beast running around yelling and screaming about how exciting everything is, even though it's very clear it's just an act for the camera. So I just thought this was probably the worst sponsored video I've ever seen and just wanted to share it with all of you. That's about it. So yeah, 2018 has been a year of risk and innovation in the YouTube space. The high quality content creators we've come to know and love have taken bravery to the next level. They are taking on the most dangerous challenge I've ever seen on the platform, the staying in your own home overnight challenge. This will have you up. It is so goddamn scary. This is a sin. These people are going to hell now for our amusement and entertainment, and make no mistake, this is some very entertaining content, high quality, from the beloved content creators such as Morgs. It is amazing. They stay in their own house? Are you kidding me? Who even does that? That's wild. They should be thrown in the slammer. This is a crime. Watching people stay in their own home for a challenge like this, it's disgusting. Let's go ahead and look at some of the new big ones that are being released right now. They all pretty much have the exact same title. In fact, every single one of them has the exact same title. The first 3 is verbatim the same thing. But I like Killam's spin on it with the sleep at home challenge. Really shooting for the stars on that challenge there, Killam. It takes an undiagnosed lunatic to even attempt a challenge such as that. Amazing. The epitome of courage he is. Sleeping in his own home. What a mad lad. Man, I can't wait to see his next challenge video. Eating breakfast because I was hungry challenge. You also notice a very similar pattern here with all of these videos. They all have pretty much the same thumbnail with them spying on someone who's taking off their shirt as if they're changing, and they just caught them changing. It's very creepy with the Ad Damn 99 guy because it's his little brother. So that's very creepy and disturbing. I don't know what the hell's going on there. That seems like it should be illegal. But anyway, I wanted to do something a little different today. Instead of just watching this horrible content and shitting on this, I wanted to actually put my penis where my mouth is and take the challenge myself and see if it is as scary and difficult as they make it out to be. So I will be attempting the legendary Sleep in Your Own Home challenge. Alright guys, it's 3 a.m. Just snuck into my own house, went right past my dog Tetra. She had no idea, she's such a idiot. And now I'm going into my... I haven't slept in my own house in so long, I haven't even made the bed. Oh god, Tetra's on me! This challenge is going south! I don't think she saw me, I should still be alright. Oh, I never expected it to be this scary. Oh my god, she's still just there waiting. She might have saw me. She just vanished, this is my chance. Alright. I made it, alright. Now I'm gonna see if I can pull off sleeping in my own house. Where should I put this? Whoa! I just slept for a full 8 hours. It's now 11 in the morning. Wow, I completed the challenge, but I didn't expect it to be this scary. I had a nightmare. And that nightmare was, you didn't smash the like button for this savage overnight challenge in my own house. What? Science said it wasn't possible, and yet I just did it. Whoa. Nothing haunts a chode more than a FaceTime of a popular character at 3 a.m. by a YouTube douchebag. Right now, J-Station kind of has the monopoly on it. He's the gold standard of FaceTime scary videos. He's the blockbuster in the space. But there is a Netflix on the way, a competitor. His name is Hype Mike. I just found out about this man today. He's basically J-Station without the crippling meth addiction. Instead, this guy's traded meth for coke. This man is always high energy. He's feeling himself. Let's dive right in with one of his bangers, FaceTiming Andy and Bonnie from Toy Story at 3 a.m.
What is up, guys? My name is Michael. Welcome back to the hypest channel on the internet. Tonight, we're going to be attempting to call Bonnie and Andy at the same time at 3 a.m.
Yes, Andy and Bonnie from Toy Story, the apotheosis of horror, the first two characters you think of when you think of something terrifying. Jesus Christ, Michael, I tell you, just the fact that you're about to FaceTime these two is enough to send shivers down my back and send me to bed with wet nightmares. I don't even need to see the video.
Call them both at the same time. Now, as you can see right here on both my phones, it is currently 3:09 in the morning, and just to show you guys that I do have both Bonnie and Andy's phone number on both my phones.
Well, Michael, you'll get no argument from me. I think it's pretty hard to scientifically dispute that kind of evidence. It's very clearly Andy and Bonnie's number from Toy Story because he just showed it to us on his phone. Who the f else would it be? Actually, Michael, the more I look at it and the more I think about it, how do I really know that's their number? You're gonna have to prove that a little bit more. You're gonna have to give me a little more to work with there. We live in 2019, a society where we can deep fake Keanu Reeves' face on a staged gas station robbery for a joke video and have people believe it was the real Keanu Reeves. In fact, Michael, I don't know if you knew this about me, but my face has actually been deep faked on a few porn videos. One of them had 6 dicks surrounding me. I've never even seen 6 penises in my life, Michael. Well, that's not... If you tally up every I've seen over the course of my 25 years, like, cumulatively, it's definitely going to be in excess of 6, but never all at once in a circle surrounding me. I've never been in that situation, Michael. So clearly you can see where my skepticism is coming from by just looking at a name on a phone. It's not enough to convince me.
Hello?
Who is that?
I'm Bonnie. Who are you?
Why you call me? Who's Bonnie?
I don't know. I'm just a little...
Wait, Bonnie. Wait, you're that little girl who took my Woody doll.
Well, not to butt in here, Andy, but she didn't take your Woody doll. In fact, if you remember at the end of Toy Story 3, you gave her your Woody doll. So I don't know why you're acting like such a big prick here. She didn't steal it from you. It's not like she rappelled down your rooftop and busted through your window to steal Woody in some type of Mission Impossible experience. No, that's not what happened. You gave it to her. Now, I have to say, Michael, I'm going to criticize the production value here a little bit. You're putting on a voice for Bonnie. You couldn't find the real voice actor for Bonnie. You have Andy in a hoodie You couldn't even put him in a sheriff's hat or anything, and he's not even trying to do a voice. This is low quality, Michael. You're never going to compete with the big dogs in the space if you're not willing to really go the extra mile. You've lost me. Now you've broken my immersion. Now I know it's not the real Andy and Bonnie.
No, I'm Andy, and I did not give you my doll.
So mad.
Yeah, well, that's because I have it now. No, that's mine. I had it for 8 years.
Whoa now, M. Night. I'm a little confused here. So Andy was getting his twisted in a knot because Bonnie stole Woody from him, but Andy just said he has it and laughed in her face, and now Bonnie is confused as to why she doesn't have it. I'm just a little lost on the lore here. Also, Michael, again, I'm gonna have to say your costume department is lackluster as well. I don't understand why you have Andy dressed up like a Satanist or an old 2009 MySpace edgelord profile picture.
He's like us. Oh, what do you want, Bonnie? Yeah, so scary. It's my Woody doll. He's mine.
Okay, guys, just calm down, alright? Just calm down. Like, if you guys actually want to settle this, you might as well just come to my house, fight it out. The coordinates are...
Whoa now, Michael, that was brave. Why would you want to offer up your house to be the Thunderdome for these two to fight it out, though? To give you an update, Bonnie's father has come out of nowhere to join Smash Brothers, and he's threatening Andy with violence to give the doll back to Bonnie, or else is getting beat. And in response to this, for some inexplicable reason, Michael comes in and says, why don't you guys come beat some throats at my house, and then gives them the coordinates. Why are you giving them the coordinates, though, Andy? Why wouldn't you give them the address? What the fuck are they going to do with that? Oh, yes, Andy, thank you for the coordinates. I'll plug this in. I'm triangulating your position now. I'll be there ASAP. But I really just have to wonder why he would even bother saying, come fight at my place. Andy, do you just do that for anyone that wants to fight? Like, if I get into a fight at the bar, are you going to just break it up and say, whoa now, guys, let's take this to my house instead? Because if so, you're a brave man, making a little fight club there. I respect that.
Oh, guys, they're gonna meet right here. That's absolutely insane. They're actually probably gonna come right now. I need to make sure like all the doors are locked, or maybe like...
Oh, whoa, now, Michael. You just offered your house for them to fight. Why would you then go lock your doors so they can't enter your house and slit throats? That just makes you a liar and a really fight club host. You invited them over. It wasn't their idea. So why are you now going to lock the doors? You getting afraid of it? This is your creation now, Michael.
Young man, where are you? I come to get what is mine. Know yourself, you little brats. Get off! Alright, where is that doll?
Are your eyes closed, you ogre? It's sitting right there on the counter that you just pushed them towards. So this lumbering idiot comes into this house he knows nothing about, could have been set with Home Alone booby traps all over the place, but takes it on faith, comes here for the showdown, pushes the guy, and then can't find the doll sitting right on the counter? Man, walking around like Frankenstein's monster, with one goal in mind, and can't even recognize the goal sitting right in front of him? Disgusting. It's embarrassing, really. Bonnie should be ashamed of herself for having such a stupid dad.
What the hell? Hold it! Like ain't that great? Now or else. Here. Let me see where. Oh! Hell out of here! Need to get the hell out of here. This place is insane.
I'm not dealing with this, but thankfully, I do have the Woody doll back.
That's the whole rest of the video. I kind of broke it down into the only 4 parts that have anything at all that happen in them. Everything else in between this is just him saying, guys, Woody, wow. So I cut all of that out for your own safety, really, because it's awful to listen to. But I have to wonder, why the f does anyone watch this? Even as, like, a diaper milk-snorting toddler, it's not well done or scary. The last thing I want to do is compliment J-Station, but he's the most similar channel to this, and at least in his defense, when he does these videos, and it's all he does, he actually has that happens during it. Hype Mike's videos, on the other hand, this is about the extent of their action. He grabs the Woody doll, runs and hides in a bathroom, and then both Andy and Bonnie's dad leave. That's all that happens. It's not even like an attempt at like tension or scariness. Genuinely, nothing happens in the 10 minutes plus. I don't get it. I can't wrap my head around it. At least when you look at things like if I was a kid, I could maybe see why that would make sense. But here, I don't get it at all. Hype Mike. Yeah, it sucks, but good work out there, I guess. I don't know. Anyway, that's some more scary FaceTime. Always fun. So yeah. Okay, let's see the Liver King response. This is again a follow-up to the big expose from More Plates, More Dates that revealed in an email that Liver King isn't natty. He was communicating with a coach to get advice on his stack, referring to like the HGH and everything he was cycling. Which is a big deal because Liver King has always defended that he's 100% natural. All you need to do to look like him is follow the 9 ancestral tenets. And he has a ton of companies, claims to make $100 million a year, but it's all based on being able to look like him through natural stuff, which isn't the case. So this is him coming out about it. If I had to spitball a guess, I would imagine Liver King takes this directly. I don't think he's going to try and like claim it's all deep faked. He's not going to claim it's reptilians behind the scenes of the puppet master that faked the emails. He strikes me as someone who's going to try and take it head on and just hope that the majority of his audience doesn't care. That's my guess.
I'm making this video to apologize. Because I've done.
This is kind of quiet.
I'm embarrassed and ashamed. I stated that this is a complicated topic, at least to me it is, because before social media, I was rich and anonymous. And after social media, I'm still rich, but no longer anonymous. And I never expected this kind of exposure.
That was very frank. That's what I mentioned briefly in the video. Way before he was the Liver King, he was still super rich. Like, he was still very rich.
Clearly, I did it wrong. And I'm here now to set the record straight. Yes, I've done steroids.
Classic YouTuber sigh.
Yes, I am on steroids, monitored and managed by a trained hormone clinician. Liver King, the public figure, was an experiment to spread the message, to bring awareness to the 4,000 people a day who kill themselves. The 80,000 people a day that try to kill themselves. Our people are hurting at record rates with depression, autoimmune, anxiety, infertility, low ambition in life.
This is all very sweet and everything, but you deliver a message and then sell products based around the message, of which you just admitted a large portion of it, your physique, is a lie. Now, if you were just like a motivational speaker or just like a normal YouTuber, Instagram guy who delivers positive messages, that's one thing. You being on steroids and everything, like, that's not that big of a deal. But the fact that you constantly defended being natty and sell all these programs based around it, and then aren't actually the result of those things you talk about, is pretty misleading, which he does admit, but spinning it as like this positive thing where I'm only here to try and help all these people who are struggling isn't super genuine when you're making so much money off them. Like, you could still just be delivering that message for free. They don't need to like pay for it if your main goal is to just deliver a positive message. I appreciate like the very upfront honesty, like, yep, I am on steroids. He didn't try and tiptoe around it. He just came in there and spread the cheeks wide open and letting us see the filthy truth on it. That's admirable. But this immediate spin about how it's all for the people that are struggling and wanting to kill themselves, that I don't put much stock into when you're making so much money off of these programs. Like, that's clearly not the main goal when you're very much taking as much money for it as you can. Hey, Charles here with a little post-game aftermath reflection. After watching the video, I get the impression this is more of an I'm sorry I got caught situation as opposed to an I'm sorry I did it. I'm still not 100% sure, but after watching it, that's more the vibe I got. I wanted to put this towards the beginning of the video just to get this out there before continuing with the apology video. And I want to also let it be known that this isn't some shocking revelation. No one heard that Liver King was on the juice and was like frantically Googling for the evidence because they couldn't believe it. Like, pretty much anyone with eyes and anyone that knows anything about fitness realized that his body wasn't naturally achievable. Like, Jesus Christ, just look at his abs. They look like Lego blocks. That looks like it's made out of titanium. You could hit it with a sledgehammer and it'd probably just break the sledgehammer. Most people could tell that he had more juice in his body than a Snapple factory. It wasn't a naturally achievable body type, but he always defended tooth and nail that he was natty 100% and he'd never touched HGH, steroids, anything of that caliber. But that's just a blatant lie. And when his whole product is being sold based on this physique that he's lying about, it seems exceptionally scummy to me. Just lying to his audience and getting them to buy into things under a false notion.
And when asked if I've ever taken steroids, I've always said no. I don't touch the stuff, not gonna touch the stuff, never touch the stuff.
Mm-hmm.
That was a lie.
Yeah.
I've convinced myself that this had nothing to do with the ancestral message. I convinced myself that I'm not a competitive athlete of any kind, so who the fuck am I cheating?
You're cheating your audience. I'm still early, so maybe he comes to that realization since he prefaces it by saying, I convinced myself, past tense. But, like, yeah, you're not competing. You're not going to jail for taking steroids, but you're cheating the people that believed in you and believed in the message about looking like you, or at least something comparable. You are cheating them.
So I continually dismissed it, and I dug myself into a bigger and deeper hole.
True.
I have only myself to blame. I did that.
That is
And
true.
it was all wrong. I will be better. I
Very
will
upfront.
talk about it openly because I believe that there's a time and a place for pharmacological intervention monitored and managed by a trained hormone physician. Nope. The liver...
See, like, had his message... Had he come out from the genesis of Liver King, from the primordial ooze of Liver and a King, if he had come out and been like, look at this physique. This is not a naturally achievable physique. I am on steroids. And then started preaching his message, I don't think he would have ever had a problem. He probably still would have found a very similar level. The spiritual pressure of the Liver King was too much for my internet to handle. It took out the entire power grid, so stream cut out there for a moment, so I'll finish my statement here. What I was saying is, he would have still found a high level of success if he was just upfront and honest about his PED usage, because he still has an absurd physique. He has a body that looks like 3 Gears of War characters did a fusion dance. So people would have still went to his content for like workout advice and like general life advice, and he has preached some positive stuff, as well as some genuinely wacky stuff that people eat up. They love it. So he would have still found an audience while being open about using these HGH steroids and stuff like that. And he wouldn't have had to lie to them and mislead them about what the human body is capable of achieving naturally. But if you're going to say, I'm natural when you're not, and then sell programs under the belief that they too can look like you, that to me just screams like scam. Like knowingly just misleading them. Yeah, I feel like Liver King's just living in the past where everyone was demonized for using PEDs. I feel like in the modern landscape of the fitness industry, like fitness influencers, most of them are super open with PED usage. I think most people know the majority of fitness influencers are on some level of juice, and they're okay with that.
Why did I, or why do I do them?
Well, it's not a
When
hard
I talk
question.
about the 85% of the population that suffers from self-esteem issues, that's me. I'm part of that statistic. This is why I work myself to death in the gym. This is why I do 12 to 15 blood-burning workouts a week, just to feel like I'm okay. That have shed light on this complicated topic. I knew I needed to take this opportunity.
I just don't think it's complicated. He's probably being very honest about self-esteem issues. That's very common when it comes to bodybuilding. But it's also not hard to understand why you would take them in his position. He needs to stand out in the fitness industry. Well, how do you stand out in the fitness industry? You need to carve out a niche. Well, with so many fitness influencers out there, it's a saturated market. What niche? How about something primal? Something like very old school. Paleo diet was huge, so why not something even harder in that realm? And I'm going to really need to look super special to stand out. So you turn to enhancements like HGH and everything. It's a pretty easily understandable reasoning for taking it. Of course, self-esteem probably does play into it because body dysmorphia is so common with fitness. But I think probably the main driver, especially with the emails, makes it sound like it was a manufactured idea from the get-go. I need to get super jacked, I need to be super standoutish, so I need these pretty impressive stack to do that for my business. Seems more like a business decision. But of course, I do imagine he's being honest that there is a self-esteem element to that. But it absolutely, undeniably, was the main reason his brand was so popular.
I am as sorry as a man can be. And all I can do is take extreme ownership right now, be better, and lead myself to a better life as a better human. Again, thank you to everyone for the support, the criticism, the love, the hate, and above all else, the loyalty. Ricky.
I do think he's minimizing the magnitude of misleading people when you run a business like this, because you're selling them a false idea and you continue to lie about it. I think that's a much bigger issue than he's letting on, or maybe he doesn't realize how scummy that is. But overall, it seemed like he accepted responsibility for all of his lying, which is a good start. He didn't try and put that blame elsewhere. He didn't really try and deflect it. He downplayed that quite a bit, but it wasn't a horrible apology by any means. You think he's going to keep using it, or will he quit? And what's your guess on how much muscle he'll lose? He's not going to stop using it. I still think, even though his audience, judging by the comments, is very much on his side, if he didn't look like this, they would probably stop watching. And he knows that, so he's not going to stop. I think he's just going to be more open about it. I think that's the only path forward for him, but I don't see a world where he stops using it. Hello, internet users. If you're anything like me, you've been searching for a tutorial just like this one for the better part of the last decade. Thanks to the Expert Village experts, we can finally learn how to watch Expert Village videos on our iPhone Apple devices. Let's go ahead and learn.
Hi, my name is Matt Wallace with ExpertVillage.com, and today I'm going to show you how to watch Expert Village videos on your iPhone.
Yeah, Matt, that's what I like to hear. I've got the lube on and condom off. I'm ready to learn.
First, tap the Safari button on your iPhone, and then if you don't already have Expert Village entered in the URL field of your browser, go ahead and type that in.
Jesus Christ, Matt, slow down. Who do you think I am, Mr. World Wide Web? Goodness gracious, what about the dial-up? Unfortunately, Matt just glosses over some important details such as the creation of Microsoft, the alien's role in fiber optics, how to set up a dial-up connection. He doesn't go over any of this and just assumes we're all as smart as Matt here with his Safari hocus pocus and URL. More like, you are not a good teacher, Matt.
And hit go. Page will load pretty quickly. And select any video that you'd like to watch from either our main page or any of the sub pages on our site. Today I'm going to select Speaking in a Public Setting.
Pardon me, Professor, but will this technique only work with Expert Village videos? What if I wanted to watch some AOL content? How would I go about doing that? These are important bases that he really should have touched on, but he doesn't throughout the duration of the video.
By Scott Ginsberg, and if you'll notice the QuickTime icon where you would normally watch a video on our website, instead there's an icon and a little play button. If you just tap that play button, the video will load automatically.
But Matt, how do I stay safe on the internet? What if they start hacking my email accounts through the QuickTime?
Get a VPN.
And that is how you watch Expert Village videos on your iPhone.
Well, slap my mother and color me purple. It's that easy? Thank you, Expert Village. You know those situations where someone was right about something and they always say, like, I don't need to say I told you so, you learned your lesson, I'll be the bigger man here and not say I told you so? That's just such a load of dog. I'm 5'6", I'm not that big a man, so here's me saying I told you so. About like 6 months ago, maybe even longer, on stream, I went on a massive tirade about how the majority of those primitive building YouTube channels were fake. And I pulled up multiple videos to try and prove my point, and I was met with nothing but vitriol. People were calling me stupid, calling me wrong, calling me dumb idiot brain, like all kinds of insults about me not being right. Despite my evidence being pretty much irrefutable, I thought, people just wanted to live in their delusion that their favorite primitive building YouTube channel was legitimate, but they're not. And a YouTuber named SunnyV2 posted a massive video that's done extremely well that most people have seen by now, which vindicates me, proving that the channels that I'm talking about were fake. There's only a couple real ones, the biggest being Primitive Technology, which I always said was real. It's the only real one that I know of, but I'm assuming there's others that I just haven't looked into enough. But the majority of them, the very popular ones, are fake. Primitive Technology Idea, Mr. Tifu, like all of these massive ones that sprout up out of nowhere, get 500 million views. They have like all of these crazy intricate things like water slides with giant giraffes and crocodile statues, and they're looking like a fucking mini golf course that they apparently make out of sticks and stones. All of those are fake, obviously. But no one wanted to believe me when I was trying to prove it, and now that Sunny's made a video on it, now everybody knows that they're fake, and people have apologized to me in Twitch chat for not believing me, and I accept your apology, but still, I told you so. Now let's go through the video and go through the evidence a little bit and get a little more in depth on it. Have you seen the video debunking those primitive building videos? I actually still haven't seen Sunny's video on it yet, but I also debunked those videos on stream, and I was met like I was trying to teach teriology. No one believed me. I tried debunking it on stream because I was telling people that most of them, almost all of them, are fake, and nobody believed me until Sunny V2 posted his video on it. Now I've been vindicated. But yeah, I still haven't seen his video yet. He came out with real evidence and explanation. Man, suck the dirtiest part of my... I came at you with, voice crack, with real evidence and explanation, but you guys didn't want to hear it at the time. I brought up like 3 different videos.
Guys, thank you so much for watching. I'm gonna take a nap. Bye.